bottom line up front, the Go-Go Bird is a lot of fun. Highly recommended for kids or anyone who wants to fly something but doesn't actually want to learn to fly something. It's quite fun. Okay. Oh my gosh, don't choke.
Hey everybody, welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, and today we're taking a look at the Go-Go Bird. I gotta tell you, I was skeptical at first about the Go-Go Bird because I'm like, it kind of looks like a super, very toy child's thing, and it's looks fragile, probably won't work well. Well, the Go-Go Bird people contacted me and they're like, hey, do you want to review this thing? And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
First time ever using the Go-Go Bird. Let's see how she flies. Whoa! It sounds like a machine gun, man. Whoa. That is really cool. Whoa. Like, I'm really surprised at how well something like that works. That is very surprising.
The bottom line is, if you have children, if you have people that want to be able to fly RC airplanes and they don't have the skill level, or they don't really want to put in the effort to do that, but they still want to fly something around and it's fun, this thing is actually perfect for that.
Well, because you could be like, okay, fly this, and it's like, all right.
And then yeah! I could actually see it being really fun if you bought a few of them and had several of them flying at the same time. You could even fight with them in midair. I don't know, that could be fun. The price on this is right under $40, right around $35, something like that. Check down in the description below for links to where you can find the price on this thing if you want to get one for yourself. But I would say for under $40, this thing would be this might be the next hot Christmas item. I don't know. I think it would be. I would give this to people as a gift. Now, what is the Go-Go Bird? The Go-Go Bird is a remote-controlled bird. It's not exactly an airplane. What this is an ornithopter. I need to make sure that is actually a word before I keep saying it. So just hang on one second. A machine designed to fly with the flapping of its wings in imitation of a bird's. Ornithopter. Oh yeah, baby, that's exactly what that is. And what that means is it flaps its wings, it has wings, and it flaps them like a bird flaps its wings. So it mimics a bird. So that's really cool because you don't have any blades or spinny things that produce thrust, and so it can fly very slowly, and it's very, very safe. In fact, just today I realized that the nose of this little bird thing here is actually rubber. So if you were going to hurt yourself with this thing, you'd have to take it directly into your open eyeball. It's more durable than I thought that it would be.
Let's just see where it goes. Okay, it goes to the tree. Oh, it saved itself. Whoa. Whoa. Look at it go. I'm not even doing anything. Is it going to hit the tree? Oh, don't go over there.
It's some sort of film material, kind of like mylar type of stuff. It looks like carbon fiber spars for the wings. It does have a plastic cage design body. Does seem very durable. It's made to be extremely lightweight. And so it's not going to be incredibly durable. Really, it's so lightweight that if you crash into something, you probably won't break it that way. You're more likely to break it with you or an animal stepping on it or something like that. Let's get the unboxing stuff out of the way. It comes with pretty much all the normal stuff that you would think that an RC thing would come with. It comes with a remote, which is kind of this one-hand style thing here with a joystick, a couple of buttons on it. It comes with 2 spare batteries, a screwdriver, which apparently is actually to hold the battery in with this little plastic thing, and it comes with a USB charger, so that's cool. Now, let's talk about the flight experience. Now, to actually use this thing, basically the simplest way of doing it is you just press the big button on the remote, and then it starts flapping its wings, and then you just give it a little toss, and it should just stay pretty much at the height that you tossed it. And then you have your joystick, and the controls are pretty simple. Left makes it turn left, sort of. Doesn't like to turn left very easily, and right makes it turn right. If you want to ascend, so if you want to raise up the altitude of the bird, then you push upwards on the stick. And if you want to go down, which basically slows it down as well, it slows down the flapping of the wings, then you pull down on the stick. That was weird for me because I'm used to flying RC stuff where you pull back on the stick in order to raise the elevator, which makes your nose go up. So once you get used to that, it's pretty intuitive, especially if you kind of hold it out in front of you and you're like, okay, up is up and down is down and that kind of thing. Now, there are some other buttons on the transmitter here. One button just changes the light on the bird. So the bird has a little LED light and it can change colors. And then another button is to make the bird circle clockwise, and then another one counterclockwise.
Okay. So
One of those buttons didn't really work very well for some reason. Probably it was the left-hand turning button, because this thing, I think it could be the torque of the motor or somehow with the way that it is designed. It just does not want to turn left very easily, but it will turn right very easily. So right-hand turns are probably best. And then the other button on here is to make it kind of do like a figure eight kind of movement. It was doing something like a figure eight. It would kind of do like a circle here and then a circle over there. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. That brings up a really important thing, is that when you fly this, it really needs to be almost no wind. So that's going to be early morning and late in the evening, which is going to be perfect for summer coming up. So yeah, if there's much of a breeze, your flight might not be so great. And mostly the worst thing that's going to happen is your bird will just start getting carried away by the wind. But if it's really windy and gusty, then this thing is just going to get potentially ripped apart like a kite. So keep that in mind. This does have sensors on here that are supposed to be like obstacle avoidance sensors. I didn't really find that those worked very well. I mean, maybe if there was like a big solid object like a house or something, maybe it would avoid that. And especially if it was nice calm wind, so that this thing actually had good control over itself, maybe it could avoid things, but I didn't really find that it was doing much avoiding. But for the most part, once you get this thing flying, you can pretty much just like put a few little inputs here and there, and it will, fly over this way and then turn around and fly that way. So it's very relaxing. It kind of like flies itself. You can kind of just watch it and see what it does. Oh, another cool thing about this that I was very pleased about is you can actually take this thing up pretty high and then just kill the wings.
And 3, 2, 1, kill it. And start back up. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, wow. That's actually really cool. Look at it go.
Now, when you hit the kill switch, it's important to know that you will have a little bit of control on the left and right, turning the bird left and right on the rudder, but only for like a few movements is what I've noticed.
All right, so the Go-Go Bird is designed for kids, but I don't happen to have any kids handy right now, but I do have this adorable puppy. Hello, adorable puppy. Who's an adorable puppy? Let's see how Quinn likes the Go-Go Bird. What was that? I hope she doesn't actually try to eat it, though. I think she'll like it. I thought she'd like try to chase it or something, but she just likes to watch it, I guess.
If you have a dog that actually wants to eat the thing once they like knock it down, or a cat or something like that, then that will be a problem.
No. Leave it. Leave it. Good girl.
And of course, what ended up happening was she ended up snapping one of the tail boom holder thingies, like one half of the tail boom. So it was out for the count, but I was able to fix it with a little bit of crazy glue, and then I was able to fly it again. Flight time on this is at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It kind of depends on how you fly it. If the motors are, if the wings are flapping really a lot. If they're flapping faster. Now, one of the coolest things about the Gogo Bird is just how the technology works to get this thing to actually fly. We're not gonna go like super in depth into it in terms of aerodynamics and things like that. But the gearing mechanism that they designed for this, you have one little motor and then that's spinning a larger gear on which is connected a smaller gear, and then that smaller gear is running the actual, I guess you could call it the drive gears, that are connected on like a little pinion thing, because the wings are crisscrossed. That's what's so cool. The wings are crisscrossed, so you have one gear running one half of the wings and then the other gear running the other half of the wings, and they're geared together, so it's very, very cool. So you get this like reciprocating motion. The other thing that is very cool, or just, I don't know, just kind of neat, I think, innovative perhaps, is that the rudder, instead of having a servo that actually physically pushes or pulls the rudder in order to turn the bird left and right, because that's how it turns left and right, you actually have this magnet that is a permanent magnet that's fixed onto the actual moving rudder part, and then the coil of wire that's run, you know, down through the tail section and then to the control board. It looks to me like it basically reverses the polarity of the coil, which causes one side of the magnet to pull one way or the other depending on the polarity of the coil. At least that's how it seems to me. I haven't actually confirmed that, but let me know in the comments what you think about that. Something you don't see in a lot of designs, and I think that struck me as being really cool. Well, bam, there you go, folks. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful to you. Check the description down below for links to where you can find the Gogo Bird. And again, thanks to the Gogo Bird people for sending this to me so that I could try it out and show you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave me a comment down below, and I will see you again very soon.